For a lot of us working with day-to-day SEO, search engine optimization, it often feels like, well, something the marketing folks worry about.
Yeah. It's usually seen that way.
But there's this really significant change brewing, a shift really from that traditional SEO to something new called Generative Engine Optimization, GEO.
Right.
And the thing is, this isn't just some minor marketing tweak. It feels like it fundamentally changes how we, the data people, need to think about managing our data assets.
Absolutely. GEO is, well, it's all about making sure your content and, yeah, crucially, your data is set up right for these new AI-powered search engines.
You mean things like Google's AI overviews or Perplexity, ChatGPT, those kinds of tools?
Exactly those. They're not just spitting out a list of things anymore. They're actively pulling together information, synthesizing it to give people direct answers. It's a totally different way of finding information online, a real sea change.
A sea change. I like that. So, okay, the mission for this deep dive, then, is to really get under the hood of this shift. And more importantly, maybe give folks like you, our listeners, a kind of playbook, some practical steps for adapting data management for this GEO world.
Yeah, Playbook sounds good. We're drawing on various bits of research, including a pretty timely article from datapro.news.
Oh, right, the one called How Generative Engine Optimization is Upending SEO by Samuel Williams, just out this week, April 16th, 2025.
That's the one. The idea is to give everyone a bit of a head start, a clear path forward, hopefully.
Okay, let's dive in then. So to start, how is GEO fundamentally different from the SEO we sort of know already?
Well, the core difference, it's really fascinating. It lies in how the search engines actually function. Traditional SEO, that's basically a retrieval game.
Retrieval.
Yeah, you type in keywords, the engine retrieves a ranked list of links. It's based on relevance, authority, heavily weighted by things like backlinks.
Okay, got it.
GEO, on the other hand, uses a synthesis model. The AI algorithms, they look at tons of sources, analyze them, and then create a direct, concise answer tailored to what the user seems to be asking, their intent.
Right, synthesis, not just retrieval. And,
Yeah.
and that article breaks this down pretty well, doesn't it? Like old SEO, focus on keywords, getting backlinks. But GEO, it's more about understanding the user's actual need, the context around their question.
Exactly. And that changes content strategy, too. It used to be very keyword-centric, right? Build pages around specific terms.
Yeah.
Now content needs to be more comprehensive, contextually rich, so the AI can properly understand what it actually means, not just match words.
And if we connect that directly to data engineering, the goals are changing there too.
Totally redefined. Think about ranking factors. Traditional SEO metrics were things like, how many backlinks you had, domain authority scores, getting keywords on the page just right.
The classic stuff.
Yeah. But for GEO, the game shifts. It's about the inherent quality of your content. This EEAT thing comes up a lot. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness.
EE-RAM.
And crucially, making sure your data is structured so the AI can easily process it, understand it. It's less about just having content and more about proving it's expert, trustworthy content. That needs real rigor in how you source and validate your data.
Okay, and what about the user experience? That's changing too, right? Old SEO is all about getting the click, driving traffic to your website. But with GEO, the AI often gives the answer directly in the results. Maybe a summary people might not even need to click through anymore.
Precisely, which has huge implications for data structure. Basic schema markup, that used to be nice to have, a best practice.
Yeah, helpful.
Now, that article really drives this home. Advanced structured data, it's becoming essential, non-negotiable for AI comprehension.
Essential. So for data folks, how do we move beyond flat data structures? What does that mean practically?
Well, the article points out that AI is really good at entity recognition, identifying things like people, companies, products, brands, and crucially, the relationships between them.
The connections.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to move from, say, simple flat tables to more complex entity relationship models, things the AI can actually parse and sort of reason over. It's like building a semantic map of your information.
A semantic map. I like that. And what about data freshness? Accuracy.
Oh, even more critical now.
Yeah.
AI engines prioritize current, reliable information. The article warns, stale or wrong data isn't just ignored.
No.
No, it could actually hurt your brand if the AI picks it up and cites it incorrectly. Imagine that.
Oof. Yeah. That really hammers home the need for solid data governance, tight quality control.
It really does.
Yeah.
And there's a statistic in the article that really makes you sit up and pay attention, especially if you're a data pro.
Oh, yeah.
It says that AI-generated responses, They can boost your content's visibility by up to 40%. 40, if it's properly optimized.
40%.
Through things like having really clear claims, uh, verifiable citations backing them up, and that well-structured data we've been talking about.
Wow. So failing to adapt isn't just missing out on some traffic.
It's risking becoming invisible, completely invisible in this new AI-first information world.
40% is huge. And the benefits go beyond just being seen, I assume.
For sure. The article mentions, better customer experience because people get direct answers faster. Less friction.
Makes sense.
Enhanced brand authority, too. Being cited as a credible source by the AI, that's powerful. And ultimately, a real competitive advantage if you build that robust, AI-ready data infrastructure first.
Okay, so that's the why. How do data engineers actually do this? What's the playbook look like from our perspective? How does this help generate revenue, as the article suggests?
That's right, the practical stuff. The article lays out a 5-step playbook. Pretty actionable.
Yeah.
And yeah, it frames it on driving value, which makes sense. Step 1 is all about implementing robust data structuring.
Okay, structuring. What does that involve?
It means first, auditing your current data. Is it AI readable? Then implementing comprehensive schema markup, like really detailed stuff defining what your data means, and building out those rich entity relationship models we talked about, giving the AI the context and connections.
So it's not just a table of product specs anymore. It's like creating this whole network that describes the product, how it's used, who uses it, what it relates to.
Exactly. That's the kind of rich context that AI needs to synthesize information properly.
Okay, that clicks. What's step 2?
Step 2 is developing AI-accessible data pipelines. This is key.
AI-accessible pipelines, different from normal ones.
Yeah, traditional pipelines might just focus on getting data into storage. For GEO, you need to optimize for AI consumption. Well, think about using vector databases. They're crucial for the similarity searches AI uses to find related concepts. You also need real-time data feeds that freshness point again, and maybe even building direct connectors into AI platforms or knowledge graphs.
Vector databases. That's about storing data based on meaning, not just values, right? So AI can find similar ideas even without exact keyword matches.
Spot on. It's about representing data points in this high-dimensional space where closeness means semantic similarity. It's a different way of thinking about data access.
And the article mentions some tools here, like Rivery Snowflake Cortex, and vector databases like Pinecone or Weaviate.
Yep, those are examples. It signals we're moving towards a more dynamic, semantically aware data infrastructure, not just static warehouses, traditional batch processing. Probably not going to cut it anymore for a lot of this.
Right, it needs to be faster, smarter. Okay, step 3.
Step 3 gets back to enhancing data quality and, importantly, authority signals.
Trustworthiness again. Makes sense. What are the actions there?
Implementing really solid data validation and verification processes is baseline. Then, setting up ways to track and manage citations. Where's your data being mentioned? Also, developing internal metrics to actually score the authority and reliability of your data sources. And, critically, creating feedback loops to catch and fix inaccuracies fast. AI prioritizes authority, so proving your data is trustworthy is absolutely paramount.
Got it. So it's not just about having data, but proving its quality and tracking its influence. Step 4.
Step 4 is building cross-functional collaboration. This one's big.
Meaning?
Specifically, data teams need to be talking regularly, meaningfully, with marketing and content teams, like all the time.
Breaking down silos.
Exactly. Developing shared KPIs that measure GEO success, both technical and marketing outcomes. Having unified data governance so the information is consistent everywhere.
Yeah.
And doing joint testing, seeing how AI actually interprets and uses the data from both perspectives.
That really highlights that GEO isn't just a tech problem. Marketing knows the user intent, the content nuances. Data engineers control the data itself. Those two have to be locked in step.
Absolutely essential. They need to be in constant communication, total alignment.
Okay, makes sense. And the final step, number 5.
Step 5 is implementing continuous GEO monitoring and optimization. It's an ongoing process.
Monitoring what, exactly?
Things like setting up systems to track where and how your data is actually being cited or used by AI engines.
Yeah.
Building dashboards to watch key GEO metrics, citation frequency, how deep are the answers drawing on your data, accuracy.
Okay.
And even doing A/B testing on different ways to structure your data to see what works best with the AI algorithms. Plus, crucially, feeding insights from the AI responses back into improving your underlying data.
So it's a constant loop.
Yeah.
Monitor, test, learn, refine the data based on real-world AI interaction.
Precisely. It's not a one-and-done thing.
And the article mentions some specific tools, again, that could help here.
Yeah, a few examples. Rivery came up for auto-generating pipeline configs with AI-ready schema markup built in. That could speed things up.
Okay.
Deep Channel was mentioned for finding unstructured data blocks in warehouses, stuff AI might be able to use.
Yeah.
GeoRadar for tracking brand citations across AI engines, which gives you that visibility picture. And Snowflake Cortex for turning SQL data into those LLM embeddings needed for vector databases and semantic search.
Right, those tools sound like they could definitely give organizations a leg up. Looking even further out, what do the articles say about the future? Where is this all heading?
It pointed to a few big trends evolving pretty quickly. One is multimodal data integration.
Multimodal, meaning?
AI search isn't just text anymore. It's increasingly using images, video, audio. So data pipelines need to handle and contextualize all these different formats.
Wow, okay.
Another is personalization at scale. As AI gets better at tailoring responses to individual users, we'll need much more sophisticated data infrastructure for segmentation, for context, to feed that personalization.
That definitely sounds like a big jump in complexity managing different data types and user profiles.
It will be. The article also talks about real-time knowledge graph becoming more vital. These dynamic, constantly updated networks of information that AI can tap into for the absolute latest, most relevant answers.
Knowledge graphs, right.
And one more. Explainable AI integration. With more scrutiny on AI, we'll need systems that can actually show how and why certain data was used to generate a response, especially as regulations likely evolve.
So it's not just feeding the beast, it's understanding and being able to explain what it did with the food. Okay, so let's bring it all together. What's the bottom line here for our listeners? The key takeaway.
I think the article really frames it well. This shift from SEO to GEO, it's a major moment for data engineers.
Yeah.
It's definitely a challenge, no question, but it's also a huge opportunity.
How so?
By proactively adapting how you structure data, how you ensure its quality, how you deliver it, you can make sure your organization doesn't just stay visible, but actually becomes seen as an authoritative voice in this new AI-driven landscape.
It really does sort of reposition data engineers, doesn't it? The article practically calls them the gatekeepers of brand visibility in the GEO era.
That puts data teams right on the front lines. The core message is pretty stark. The businesses that thrive are going to be the ones whose data teams jump on this now, not later.
There's a real sense of urgency then.
Absolutely. The time to adapt is definitely now.
Okay, so just a quick recap. We've dug into this fundamental shift, SEO to GEO, how AI is synthesizing answers, not just listing links, and why that's a massive deal for you, the data professionals listening.
And we walked through that 5-step playbook. Better data structuring, building AI-ready pipelines, boosting data quality and authority, collaborating across teams, and constantly monitoring and tweaking things.
Right. And we touched on future trends, too. Multimodal data, personalization, knowledge graphs, explainability. Lots to think about.
Definitely.
So here's something to chew on, maybe. Considering how AI pulls info from everywhere now to create answers, how might your current data governance frameworks need to change? How do you make sure your brand, your organization's information is represented accurately and consistently across all these new AI platforms? That feels like a pretty critical question moving forward.
It really is.
Because the search landscape, it's clearly evolving fast. And for data professionals like you, being proactive, adapting continuously, well, that's going to be absolutely essential.